If you are a man in his 50s, 60s, or 70s, and you want strong, reliable erections at 70 and beyond, this message is for you. I'm Dr. Katherine Harris, and today I want to speak to you candidly, respectfully, and clearly about a topic that men whisper about but rarely address head-on: what you eat and what you should stop eating if you want to protect your sexual vitality as you age. I'll give you a practical, day-to-day roadmap, and I'll also explain the why behind each choice so every bite has purpose. This isn't about restriction for restriction's sake. This is about freedom. Freedom to feel confident in your body, your energy, your intimacy, and your future. Let's begin with a simple truth. Erections are a circulation story. They depend on healthy blood flow and healthy nerves, which means your arteries and the lining of those arteries, the endothelium, must be in good shape. When the endothelium releases nitric oxide, it relaxes the blood vessels and allows blood to fill the erectile tissue. When that process breaks down, erections become less dependable. In medicine, we often say erectile dysfunction is a barometer of vascular health, sometimes showing up years before other cardiovascular symptoms do. Protecting your erections, then, isn't separate from protecting your heart and brain. It's the same mission expressed in a very personal way. PMC1. Now, the title promised clarity about what to avoid. I will keep that promise, but I'm going to do it in a way that empowers you. I'll translate "never eat this" into "avoid or strongly minimize these" with precise reasons and smart swaps. You deserve nuance, not fear-mongering. Here's the short list we'll unpack in depth: ultra-processed fried foods, refined sugars and sugary beverages, high-sodium processed meats and snack foods, excessive alcohol, and daily dessert-style pastries that spike blood sugar. Each one damages circulation, the endothelium, or the hormones that underpin sexual desire and function. And each one can be replaced with foods that make you feel steady, strong, and alive. Before I give you the specifics, let's make an agreement. I won't make empty promises, and you won't expect overnight miracles. What I will promise is that your body is incredibly adaptable. When you feed it what supports nitric oxide, endothelial function, metabolic balance, and a healthy weight, you tip the odds toward better sexual health at every age. It's not all or nothing, and it's not too late. Let's start with ultra-processed fried foods, the bagged, boxed, and drive-through choices that combine refined oils, refined starches, and salt into a crunchy, craveable, perfect storm. Why minimize them? Because repeated exposure to these foods tends to raise inflammation, stiffen arteries, and, over time, disrupt the very endothelial signaling that erections depend on. If your typical week includes fried chicken, French fries, breaded snacks, or chips, your endothelium is constantly under pressure, and your erectile response is likely to reflect that stress. I want you to win this decade and the next. That means replacing fried and crispy with roasted and crunchy, pan-seared instead of deep-fried, and olive oil toasted instead of battered. Now to refined sugars and sugary drinks. Sugary beverages are especially sneaky because they don't feel like food, and yet they drive glucose spikes, insulin surges, and hormonal turbulence that can lower testosterone and promote weight gain around the midsection, the kind that's metabolically active and harmful. In younger and middle-aged men, higher intake of sugar-sweetened beverages has been associated with lower testosterone levels, which matters for libido, energy, and body composition. If you sip sodas, sweet teas, energy drinks, or large juices, start there. Make water, sparkling water, with a squeeze of citrus, or unsweetened tea your default. Your hormones will thank you, and so will your arteries. PMC2. High-sodium processed meats and salty snacks are next. Think of deli meats, bacon, hot dogs, sausage links, and those instant soups and noodles. The problem isn't a small pinch of salt in your home cooking. The problem is the stealth salt and preservatives in commercial products, which drive blood pressure up and, with it, wear and tear on delicate blood vessel linings. Elevated blood pressure narrows the pipeline that delivers blood where you need it, fast and fully, when intimacy begins. If you love flavor, good, so do I. But we get it from herbs, citrus, pepper, garlic, paprika, and vinegars, not from sodium bombs that quietly sabotage performance. Excessive alcohol deserves a straight conversation. Occasional moderate drinking isn't the same as daily overuse, but moderate can slide into more than you think when the pour is generous and the glass is bottomless. Alcohol can dull nerve signaling, disrupt sleep, undermine testosterone, and impair the vascular response that makes erections firm. If you regularly drink to unwind, you may be trading short-term relaxation for long-term performance. Try a simple experiment. Cap it at 1 standard drink at most, and schedule at least 3 alcohol-free nights per week. Notice your morning energy, mood, and desire after 2 weeks. You might be surprised. And those daily dessert-style pastries? They're a double hit. Refined flour and sugar? That combination spikes glucose and insulin, encourages visceral fat, and promotes glycation, damage to proteins and tissues that accumulate over time. Again, it's not that you can never enjoy a celebration dessert. It's the habit that harms, not the birthday slice. Make sweetness occasional, not automatic. Choose whole fruit or a high cacao square of dark chocolate a few times a week. Savor it, don't graze it. Now for the good news, your plate can actively support sexual vitality. Patterns like the Mediterranean-style way of eating, rich in vegetables, fruits, nuts, legumes, whole grains, olive oil, fish, and modest dairy have been associated with better endothelial function, healthier lipids and glucose, and, in several studies, better erectile function. It's not a diet in the punishment sense. It's a rhythm of eating that you can enjoy with seasoning, variety, and color. PMC 3. Within that pattern, 2 categories deserve special mention: deeply colored plant foods rich in flavonoids and nitrate-rich leafy greens. Flavonoids, found in berries, citrus, apples, cocoa, and tea, are linked with lower risk of erectile dysfunction in long-term cohort studies. They appear to help endothelial function and nitric oxide availability, which again is the master switch for vascular relaxation. A handful of berries most days, a citrus wedge on your salad, a cup of unsweetened tea, these are small moves with meaningful payoff. PMC 4. Leafy greens like arugula, spinach, and beet greens contribute dietary nitrates that your body can convert to nitric oxide, supporting vessel relaxation. Add a big green salad with olive oil most days, toss in cherry tomatoes and olives, grate a little Parmesan for satisfaction, and you've created a plate that loves your endothelium back. Pair that with omega-3 rich fish like salmon or trout twice a week, or with legumes for a plant-based boost, and you're checking boxes for circulation, anti-inflammation, and satiety. Here's where many men nod along but wonder, will food choices really move the needle once I'm past 60? I hear you. Lifestyle changes aren't magic, and pills are sometimes necessary. But there is growing support for the idea that eating patterns and movement can measurably improve erectile function, especially in men with metabolic risk factors, and major urology guidelines explicitly encourage dietary and exercise changes because they improve overall health and may improve erectile function. Food won't replace appropriate medical care, but it can create a stronger foundation, and sometimes a surprising boost. AUA 5. Let me make this concrete with a simple daily blueprint, the No Boost Day, where No stands for nitric oxide. Morning. Wake up to water, then a protein-rich breakfast that avoids sugar spikes. Think Greek yogurt, unsweetened, with berries and walnuts, or eggs with sautéed spinach and tomatoes, plus a slice of whole grain toast with olive oil. If you want coffee, enjoy it unsweetened or lightly sweetened and not on an empty stomach. Mid-morning. If you're hungry, reach for an apple or a small handful of almonds. Lunch. Large salad base with arugula or mixed greens, cucumbers, bell peppers, olives. Add beans or grilled salmon or chicken. Dress with olive oil and lemon. Afternoon, unsweetened tea, a square of dark chocolate if you want a treat. Dinner, roasted vegetables, a portion of fish or legumes, a side of quinoa or farro, and a generous drizzle of olive oil. Night, keep alcohol to 0 or 1 drink and keep it with food, not on an empty stomach. Every day won't look perfect, and it doesn't need to. What matters is the weekly pattern. Most days are supportive, indulgences are intentional, and hydration is non-negotiable. If you're consistent 80 to 90% of the time, you'll feel the difference. And it won't just be in the bedroom. Energy, mood, and blood pressure often improve in parallel. Because you're an individual, you may want a short, never swap list you can stick on the fridge. So here it is, Dr. Harris's Never Swap 5, designed for clarity and action, never, or almost never, deep-fried fast food. Swap for roasted, grilled, air-fried at home with olive oil. Keep the crunch, drop the inflammation, never daily sugar-sweetened beverages. Swap for water, sparkling water with citrus, or unsweetened tea. Your hormones prefer it. PMC2, never habitual processed meats for lunch. Swap for grilled fish, roasted turkey you slice yourself, hummus or beans with herbs and olive oil. Never ultra-salty instant soups and noodle bowls. Swap for homemade broths, quick-cooked whole grains, or bean and veg bowls with spices and lemon. Never dessert-style pastries as a daily breakfast. Swap for protein-rich, fiber-rich options. Eggs with greens, yogurt with berries and nuts, or steel-cut oats with cinnamon and walnuts. Let's talk grocery shopping. The rule of the cart is simple. Shop the perimeter for produce, fish, eggs, and yogurt. Shop the inner aisles for whole grains, beans, nuts, olive oil, tea, and spices. Skip the snack aisles except for intentionally chosen dark chocolate and nuts. Read labels like a detective. If sugar is in the top 3 ingredients, put it back for daily use and save it for occasions. Watch for sodium. Aim for less than 140 milligrams per serving in staples you eat daily. Watch for the phrase partially hydrogenated, a red flag for trans fats that don't belong in a body trying to maintain supple arteries and healthy erectile response. Here's a 1-week vascular vitality meal map to get you moving without decision fatigue. Day 1. Lemon olive oil chickpea salad with cherry tomatoes, cucumber, parsley, and a side of grilled salmon. Day 2. Turkey and avocado lettuce wraps with a big side salad, and roasted Brussels sprouts for dinner with quinoa. Day 3. Lentil soup with carrots and celery, whole grain toast with olive oil, and a spinach mushroom omelet. Day 4. Tuna white bean salad with arugula and olives, and roasted sweet potatoes with tahini. Day 5. Grilled chicken with herbs, farro with tomatoes and basil, and a green salad. Day 6. Olive oil sautéed shrimp with garlic and lemon, plus steamed greens and brown rice. Day 7. Vegetable-rich pasta night, whole grain spaghetti tossed with olive oil, cherry tomatoes, garlic, spinach, and a sprinkle of parmesan. Dessert any night can be berries with a spoon of plain yogurt or a square of dark chocolate. Beverages are water and unsweetened tea. Men ask me about supplements for performance. I prefer a food-first approach because your whole diet determines the terrain: blood flow, metabolic health, endothelial function. If you stack a supplement on a high-sugar, high-salt, highly processed diet, you're building a fancy tent on shifting sand. There are times when a physician will consider targeted supplementation. For example, vitamin D if you're deficient, or omega-3s if you don't eat fish, but that should be personalized by your healthcare provider. Now, allow me to zoom out and connect the dots. Erectile function isn't isolated from the rest of you. When your diet supports stable blood sugar, lower blood pressure, healthy lipids, and a trim waist, you're also supporting the arteries that feed the heart and brain. That's why erectile changes can sometimes be an early clue to cardiovascular risk. It's not to scare you, it's to empower you to act early rather than later. If you notice persistent changes, do 2 things: improve your daily pattern and talk with your clinician for a thorough checkup: blood pressure, fasting glucose or A1C, lipids, and a medication review. JACC 6. Let's also give flavonoids a practical place in your routine. Make berry bowls a habit: blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. Add citrus segments to salads. Brew tea in the afternoon to replace sweet drinks. These are simple intakes that, in large observational cohorts, track with lower ED risk over time. Observational doesn't mean cause and effect, but when the foods are safe, accessible, and beneficial for many aspects of health, the balance of evidence says include them often. PMC 4. What about the Mediterranean pattern more broadly? If you're looking for a flexible, delicious way to eat that stabilizes weight, improves metabolic markers, and appears to support erectile function, this is a strong candidate. It's not a perfect diet. It's a pattern you can adapt to your culture and taste preferences. Swap in familiar flavors. Use cilantro and lime with beans, paprika and garlic with roasted vegetables, turmeric and cumin in lentil soups. It is the abundance of plants, the quality of fats, especially extra virgin olive oil, and the regular inclusion of fish and legumes that set the tone your endothelium prefers. PMC 3. Another practical question I get is timing. Does it matter when you eat? 2 timing tips are consistently helpful. First, don't front-load your day with sugar. Start with protein and fiber to stabilize glucose. Second, avoid late-night heavy meals if you can. Your sleep quality affects hormones, and good sleep protects testosterone and vascular responsiveness. Honor your circadian rhythm: bright morning light, daytime movement, and a wind-down routine at night that doesn't revolve around alcohol or sugary snacks. Speaking of movement, food is half the pair. A 20 to 30-minute daily walk, especially after meals, smooths blood sugar, supports endothelial function, and helps maintain a healthy weight. Add 2 short strength sessions weekly: simple body weight work or light resistance training. You don't need a gym membership to send a powerful signal to your metabolism and your vessels. In fact, a brisk walk after dinner does more for bedtime circulation than scrolling until midnight ever will. Let's address medications gently and practically. If you're using a PDE5 inhibitor prescribed by your clinician, that's fine. It can be life-changing for many men. But the pill is not the full solution if the foundation, your daily choices, pushes in the opposite direction. Let the medication be a bridge while you build a diet and lifestyle that makes your circulatory system resilient. And always review your medications with your clinician. Some prescriptions can contribute to sexual side effects, and safe alternatives sometimes exist. I want to share 3 brief composite stories from my practice. No identifiable details, just patterns I've seen again and again. First, a 68-year-old who lived on sandwiches, deli meats, chips, and nightly ice cream. We swapped his lunch meats for leftover grilled salmon, chips for roasted chickpeas, ice cream for berries and yogurt, and started a nightly 20-minute walk. In 8 weeks, his belt tightened 1 notch, his morning energy improved, and so did his confidence in intimacy. Second, a 72-year-old who believed pastries and sweet coffee were a harmless breakfast. We moved him to eggs with spinach and tomatoes, plus a piece of fruit later in the morning. His afternoon crash disappeared, and his desire returned, gently but noticeably. Third, a 66-year-old who didn't drink much water. We set a simple pattern: a big glass upon waking, a glass before each meal, and herbal tea in the afternoon. Hydration sounds boring until you feel how it improves circulation and mood. Now, a quick, empowering reality check. You will not be perfect. You will have birthdays, holidays, and travel days. That's human. But the man who protects his intimacy in his 70s is not the man who never eats cake. He's the man who doesn't eat cake by accident, who doesn't drink soda because it's there, and who doesn't let the drive-thru decide his destiny. He plans just enough: shopping list on Sunday, proteins prepped, vegetables washed, olive oil on the counter, fruit in plain sight, nuts in a jar. He makes the default healthy and the indulgence intentional. Because you asked for clarity, I'll end with a precise, never eat this capsule, tailored for the goal of strong erections at 70. Never make deep-fried fast food a weekly habit. Never make sugar-sweetened drinks a daily habit. Never make processed meats your standard protein. Never make ultra-salty instant meals your I'm busy solution. Never make dessert-style pastries your breakfast. If you simply cut those 5 nevers to near zero, your diet, by subtraction alone, will become friendlier to your arteries, friendlier to nitric oxide, and friendlier to the hormones and nerves that make desire and performance harmonize. PMC 2. If you want a 2-week starting plan, here's one I use often. Week 1. Eliminate sugary beverages entirely. Drink at least 8 cups of water daily. Add a big salad at lunch every day. Eat fish twice. Replace 1 dessert with fruit. Walk after dinner for 20 minutes. Week 2. Keep the beverage rule. Add a legume meal twice. Prepare roasted vegetables every other night. Use olive oil as your main fat. Choose nuts as your snack. Keep alcohol to no more than 2 drinks total for the week. By the end of 2 weeks, most men feel lighter, clearer, and more confident. Desire follows energy. Performance follows circulation. Confidence follows consistency. Let me close with the dignity you deserve. Sexual health at 70 is not a punchline. It's a vital expression of life, connection, and joy. When you choose foods that respect your endothelium, stabilize your metabolism, and support your hormones, you're not just being healthy. You are preserving a very human capacity for closeness and vitality. Keep this compass. If a food is colorful, close to the way it grew, prepared with olive oil, and leaves you energized an hour later, it's a friend to your future. If it's engineered for shelf life, drenched in sugar, or leaves you sleepy and thirsty, it's a friendly-looking thief. I'm Dr. Catherine Harris. If this helped you, share it with a friend, a brother, or a partner who needs clarity more than clever marketing. If you're ready for a deeper dive, complete recipes, shopping lists, and a 4-week step-up plan, let me know in the comments and I'll walk you through it. Your 70s can be strong, confident, and connected. Start with your next meal. Your body is listening, and it's ready to respond. Key evidence notes, simplified for you and your doctor. Erectile function tracks with vascular health and can precede cardiovascular events. Dietary patterns like Mediterranean-style eating support endothelial function and have been associated with better erectile function. Flavonoid-rich foods correlate with lower ED risk in long-term cohorts, and reducing sugar-sweetened beverages helps stabilize hormones and metabolism that matter for sexual vitality. Bring these talking points to your next checkup. Partner with your clinician, and build your daily pattern with purpose. PMC. Disclaimer. This video provides general educational information and is not a substitute for personalized medical care. If you have persistent erectile changes, chest pain, shortness of breath, or concerns about your medications, please speak with your healthcare provider for individualized guidance. 1. https://pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Articles: PMC 9405/76. UTM source: ChatGPT. Com: endothelial dysfunction, erectile deficit, and cardiovascular. 2. https://pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Articles: PMC 6015465. UTM source: ChatGPT. Com: sugar-sweetened beverage intake and serum testosterone. 3. https://pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Articles: PMC 5510347. UTM source: the ChatGPT. Com: Mediterranean diet and erectile dysfunction. PubMed Central. 4. https://pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Articles: PMC 4733263. UTM source: ChatGPT. Com: Dietary flavonoid intake and incidence of erectile dysfunction. 5. https://www.aunet.org. Documents, guidelines, editor Send 20 website, Send 20 final.pdf. UTMS source: ChatGPT. Com: Erectile dysfunction, AUA guideline. 6. https://www.jacc.org. DOI 10-1006J. JC 2011-06-024. UTM source: ChatGPT, erectile dysfunction and risk of cardiovascular disease.